Welcome to the Blue Atlas Trade Show Marketing Podcast.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Trade Show Marketing Podcast. And today we're talking about social media tactics for pre, during, and post-show trade marketing. So we're going to talk about three things today, and then we'll leave you with some action items at the end that you can get started with immediately so that you can start improving your trade show ROI. So let's get started with the first one. Let's talk about strategizing that social media engagement. So one of the first things you want to do is actually plan your social media calendar around your trade show dates. You should already have social media going so that you have a presence and you have engagement. But as the trade show starts to get closer, you want to start planning out social media posts leading up to it. If you have that microsite built, if you have promotions that you're going to try to run for the show, special discounts, special things tied to the show, you want to promote those beforehand. We talked about making sure that your lead magnet, for instance, is available pre-show. Use social media to help promote that so that you can probably start generating some qualified prospects before you even get to the show. But make sure you're planning that out around the trade show dates, and make sure you're planning far enough out. Don't just try to be haphazard and a couple of days before the show. All your attendees are getting ready to go. They're making travel plans. They're packing. They're getting all their stuff together. A lot of attendees are actually exhibiting as well. So they're very busy leading up to the show. Obviously, you still want to leave those posts because people are still taking time away to do Facebook and LinkedIn and scroll and things of that nature. But try to make sure you plan it far enough out in advance that it's highly effective. What can you do for posting? What kind of ideas are there? If you're going to have, say, a discount or some type of special that's going on at the trade show itself, maybe you're unveiling a product or something like that at the trade show, do some teasers leading up to it. Promote the discount. Promote what the discount's for. Promote the product that it's for. But basically do some teasers leading up to it. Another thing is you can actually promote a little bit about the show. Why are people going to the show? How does your booth fit in with that? How does your booth fit in with the industry? So say your product and service, you're going to a specific industry. Why are you going? And help feed into that. You also can really just sprinkle in some just kind of, I would say generic, but just general about you type post, but make sure you're incorporating something about the trade show. Like, hey, catch us on the trade show, May 9th. By the way, we're exhibiting our product and service that does this, and and kind of roll out the details. You'll still get mixed in with the hashtags of the trade show itself, so people can kind of discover you that way. But you're also helping promote your company to go, oh, maybe I should see them when I'm at the trade show. That's interesting. We could use that. Or I could really buy that type of product. I'm looking for that right now. And that promotion will get in front of the audience because you're tying it to the trade show post and the trade show topic itself, but you're still tying it back into your company for a little bit of education. All right, number 2, live engagement and real-time updates. When we're talking about B2B trade shows, a lot of people don't really engage this. You feel like it's more of a B2C thing, and kind of it feels salesy or gimmicky or something like that. But honestly, you're going to get in front of a lot of people that are following your page that may not be at the trade show, that may follow you because they're connected in some kind of way, but they may not necessarily understand everything that you offer. And lives a lot of times get a higher preference and are broadcast. There's notifications to people that have the apps. It's a better opportunity to get in front of people than just a regular post. Doing lives just randomly because, hey, I want to do a live and talk about my product often don't make sense, but being at a trade show is a perfect environment to do that. So utilize your live features on platforms for on-the-spot engagement. Maybe you've sparked a really good conversation with a prospect to say, hey, by the way, we were going to be doing a live broadcast on LinkedIn here in just a little bit. Would you mind sticking around for it? Would you be interested in kind of talking about your perspective of this? Now you've got a prospect that feels good really to be part of your content. A lot of people do like to be on it. Some people don't. They don't know I don't want to be on video, but some people are like, sure, I'd love to do that. Gives them an opportunity. If they're using social media, they're going to share that because they want a reason to share things on their social channels. So there's a little bit of viral aspects that can happen engaging, say, prospects or maybe a sponsor, maybe another exhibitor. There's all kinds of things you can do utilizing that live at the event itself and utilizing various platforms. If you just use, say, LinkedIn, that's okay, just use LinkedIn. But if you do have a presence on some of the other channels, make sure you're doing lives at different times with those as well. There's also interfaces that allow you to do one live and broadcast that to multiple platforms as well if you want to broadcast the same message to, say, LinkedIn, Facebook, and maybe another platform as well. Also, use that live engagement and real-time updates to encourage booth visits, encourage the audience to come by and see you, and promoting those real-time promotions. If you are doing something that's specific to the show, use the lives to say, hey, it's day one. We're doing so-and-so discount today. Maybe you've got staggered discounts. Day one, it's a bigger one. Day two, it's maybe a little bit smaller. And day three, we're still offering a discount. Use the lives as an opportunity to promote that. People are at the shows looking for things to do. Think about it. An attendee often is going to be sitting in a hotel room when it's all said and done. What do most of us do? We grab our phone and we start scrolling. Well, if they're following anything, if the trade show itself is doing any show marketing, the channels know they're there and they're interested in it. Your live, as long as you use the trade show names, trade show hashtags, is going to get associated with that. You're highly likely for that to come up. Even though it's not live at that moment, it's highly likely to show up later for these people. It's also highly likely that there are notifications when you go live if they're following your channels. So you've got a lot of content usage for that one live event. It has traction and goes longer than just the event itself. And don't feel like it's gimmicky. I know at first you might be like, there's no reason to do this. That's what Instagrammers do. Well, why would I be doing this? You can still be very professional, on brand, on theme. You can still do all of those things just talking about the show, showing your booth. Just, hey, just want to show you what we look like today, where we are. We're on this row. Come see us. Why would you come see us? Well, because we're talking about this, and this. We have a new product that we're rolling out. Or, we're at the show because we have found our product really helps this industry, or our service is applicable to the way you do things. Come see us and we'll tell you all about it. Exaggerate a little bit more, but your live can be short. You can be a couple of minutes if you want. I do recommend going a little bit longer than, say, 30 minutes to a minute. But if you can get a couple of minutes of showing your booth and showing off things, that live will work very well. Now, if you've got a lot to say and maybe you're used to doing this, then definitely string that out a little bit. A 5-10 minute live lasts longer, gets more notification, and gives people that get the notifications an opportunity to come to see that live when it's actually happening. All right, next, let's talk about post-show social media follow-up. This one I think is important as well as before the show and during the show. And so you want to have a strategy for keeping the momentum going after the show. There are going to be people in the audience, the traffic that don't get to your booth that wanted to. There are going to be people that maybe came by, grabbed a promo product, grabbed maybe a flyer, and looked at it and go, all right, maybe I should have talked to him a little bit more, but I didn't get a chance. There are all kinds of reasons why people don't really get to engage you at the show, but that doesn't mean they don't want to engage you. So keep the momentum going with your social media. Repost the live. Say take the live and you can actually send it to your video editor. Have them chop it up into shorts. Put those in. So if you plan that live properly, you really can use it as almost like a blog post kind of feel, but in video form. Take it. It can be chopped up into smaller pieces that continue to keep the momentum going and keep the conversation going about an event. You're using the trade show for multiple things. You're going to a trade show because you want to get in front of the right audience. You're going to a trade show because you want to see these people and meet them face to face. But you're also using that to generate qualified prospects. Not all those prospects are going to see you face to face or at the trade show, but they will see you in social media. They will follow your channel or be engaged in some kind of way so that they see your content. So keep the momentum going. And you're also able to convert those social media interactions that may have happened during the show, pre-show, or even after the show into long-term relationships. Sometimes people are not quite interested in your product or service yet, or go, man, it'd just be such a hassle to switch. But I really like these guys, and they'll follow your page. Keeping those posts going, finding ways to engage with the audience, the traffic, and anyone that's following your page after the show is the way to create some long-term relationships with some of that audience traffic. So let's recap. Talking about social media tactics for pre, during, and post-show marketing. Number one, create a strategy for how you're going to engage in social media, especially before the show. Start your process much earlier than just the week of the trade show. Make sure that you have a plan around it and you're planning what kind of content you're going to do, which then leads us to number two. Use live engagement and real-time updates from the event on your social channels. Go live on LinkedIn. Go live on Facebook. Any of the other channels that you use. Make sure you're giving real-time updates of what's happening. If you don't like to go live, you don't like video, take pictures. Share a post. Make sure you're engaging at the event. And that leads us to number three. post-show follow-up. Make sure you have a plan and a strategy after the show to keep the conversation going. Make sure you have posts that are going, pictures of the booth. Hey, this is what we found. Maybe something you learned. Say, hey, we were talking to a lot of people. We learned this. Maybe you shoot a video after the fact that talks about what happened at the trade show. You don't have to do all the video at the trade show to have video about the trade show and from the trade show. You can do follow-up video. That way you can do some takes, and if you mess up, you can start it over and redo it again, but you still get the same effectiveness of having media from the trade show. All right, here's our action items. First, schedule a series of social media posts tailored to your different phases of the trade show. You don't have to schedule them fully if you just want to plan them, but use a spreadsheet and get these planned. Pre-show, we're going to do X number of posts. This is what it's going to be about. We're going to promote our lead magnet. We're going to promote our booth location, and so on. Then you got some for at the show. We have a plan for what we're going to do with the live engagements. We have a plan for after the fact. Go ahead and create a bit of a schedule so you know what you're going to do for your trade show. Coordinate with your social media marketer, or if you are the social media poster, just have that plan to know what you're going to be doing before, during, and after the show. Next, plan a live session or real-time updates. Create a strategy for this during the show. How can you utilize your social media channels to engage the audience at the show, and really create conversation with your social media channels? In most B2B instances, companies are not doing this, so you will stand out. It does not have to be hokey. It doesn't have to be gimmicky. You don't have to get on there doing silly stuff. It can be very polished and professional with the things that you're saying and doing. But the fact that you're doing live, most B2B companies do not do that, especially when they're doing a trade show. The trade show itself might, if they have learned that they really can utilize these to promote the show and promote engagement, but most people aren't using them. You should do it. And last, create that post-show engagement plan following that schedule you put together. But how are you going to keep the conversation going with attendees? Maybe you still just barely have business cards or email. Utilize that. If you get enough of them, you can create an audience in your social media, on your social media accounts like LinkedIn or Facebook. You can create a custom audience, and you can run post-show ads, for instance, just to that audience. So utilize your social media channels to keep this conversation going after the fact. This has been Social Media Tactics for pre, during, and post-show on the Trade Show Marketing Podcast. Thanks for joining us. I'm Nate Stockard. See you next time.